Today we are back with another speculation video about the recently confirmed and published roadmap, and we are just a few days ahead of the next Frontier Unlocked, which is the first time before another update, and I really want to talk about with you about my thoughts on what's next. So, hello everyone and welcome back to another speculation video of Planet Coaster 2. What I really couldn't believe was when Frontier showed us at the end of April in the Frontier Unlocked that I was so close with my predictions to the real roadmap with the on-ride shops and the on-ride photos and the souvenir shops that I was completely mind blown. So thank you all for sharing my screenshots online and sharing my video. It was unbelievable. I didn't know anything. It was 100% speculation, guessing, and thinking about what could be next. But what you see at the moment is the official roadmap from Frontier. I added the little fairy tale icon on the top because it's already been teased in the last Frontier Unlocked, and for June update 6 in the red box down below I also prepared some of the first ideas I had in mind what could be some nice quality of life improvements. Before we dive in deep, I want to invite you to subscribe to the channel to never miss anything about Planet Coaster 2 and other simulation games again. And I want to ask you to hit the like button, comment down below and support me on my journey to now nearly 2,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. And now we are going into the speculation mode and let's talk about what could be coming next. The title of today's video is Hotels Are Next, and in a few moments I will already show you why I think this is going to happen. But first of all, next to the already teased fairy tale theme that is returning for update 6, we are getting the souvenir shops and on-ride photos, which is absolutely amazing. I cannot think of the stock coasters at the moment. I think it will be the Mine Train and the Premier Rides thing. Other than that, I don't see any heavily themed coasters in the game now. Next to these additions, Frontier already confirmed that we are getting the Coriolis, which is another flat ride returning for all players. And last but not least, what is confirmed basically is the return of the fairy tale theme. When I think of this theme, I have lots of different pieces in my mind, and I would say it's the biggest theme we have in game, depending on what we count into this set of theming actually. In the next screenshots I just showcase some of the pieces I am counting into the fairy tale theme. The items you see now are mostly the most obvious fairy tale scenery pieces. We are getting lots of different things, I think, from the different fairy tale benches to new fencing things or pieces, and also some of the foliage pieces. Next to those scenery items, I see some building pieces like windows, doors, and other wall extras for decorating your buildings. Mostly inspired by a fairy tale forest, but also the castle set. The biggest issue to see what pieces could be included is that they are all not tagged as fairy tale in Planet Coaster 1. This is mainly the wall set we had, but that was the same for the Western wall sets. Here you can get a clear overview of the building pieces that I would match with the castle set. We are getting, or could be getting, some parts of the very natural building pieces, but we are also could be getting, and this is a little difficult to tell, the sandstone wall set with the onion roofs, which are mostly tagged as castle, and we could maybe count them into fairy tale because it's more like an Orient castle fairy tale thingy, like with Aladdin or something like this, but I'm not 100% sure, so it's very hard to decide which wall sets could actually be included. But overall, these screenshots maybe give a little hint on what to expect, and yeah, I think it's one of the biggest additions to the game, and I cannot wait to build with it. Next to these additions, I am expecting some more quality of life improvements, and that's the little list I added to this official roadmap, and everything in the red box is 100% speculation, just to remind you of that. I am thinking if we would maybe get a toggle for recolorable water bodies, which means that we are able to click on all the terrain water and give them another color as well. This was an option in Planet Zoo, and as we are getting most of the features we knew from Planet Zoo or Planet Coaster 1, I am kind of waiting for that. Next to this, we also got a toggle for water bodies or water in a habitat in Planet Zoo to add fog or bubble effects to make it look like a hot pool or something like this. This would be also a nice visual addition to our pools to make them look even more like something warm outside, and especially going into at the moment in the direction of summer, but for the winter updates it would be nice to have maybe a hot pool outside. Last but not least, I have station enhancements for flumes and coasters. I am basically more focused on the coaster part of this, or the tracked ride part of those stations, because we already got the different load and unload stations. And if we think back to the announcement of Planet Coaster 2, there was the FD Vision Doom Buggy ride with a conveyor belt, and I was thinking, why was this taken out prior launch? So there must have been some difficulties with the code, and as Adam was talking about the ability to change the path texture within a station for the coaster station, for example, and showcase this in the last Frontier Unlocked, I thought or understood that there are coming more enhancements about stations in the future. Maybe I got it totally wrong, but this brings me to the point that we are still missing these conveyor belts. And I have a slight feeling that we maybe also get more additional enhancements to the stations, like maybe a turntable station or something else, or maybe a dual loading station. I'm not 100% sure, but the stations were one of the things that nearly changed like nothing, or could even do less than in the first game, when we think that we are now getting on Thursday the adjustment of paths in stations. But I cannot really tell. I just have the feeling that we will get a surprise here, and hopefully already in June. As this is it already for my June update speculation, because we already know so much confirmed about this update, I want to move into the full speculation mode and talk with you more about what I have in my mind about the future of Planet Coaster 2. Until the last Frontier Unlocked, I thought that we will be getting one theme every 2 months, but now we are getting the fairy tale theme already 1 month after the sci-fi theme in the June update. And that's why I thought maybe Frontier is ending the monthly updates with a big bang in July with update 7 and bringing back at the hot summer months before going on a holiday to take some time to relax and recharge their batteries with the arriving of the first or second paid DLC, which will be a rides pack in my opinion, because we got so many base game themes to everything, and we definitely need new rides because people are begging for modern coaster types or even other types of rides. And alongside this DLC, we are getting the pirate theme as a returning theme, which is basically the last one from the original base game. And now, hear me out. What I was thinking about the last update, the only big thing missing from Planet Coaster, Planet Zoo that we already know from those bigger features like restaurants and so on are hotels. So what if Frontier is going to end and start their break with the release of hotels, that we are able to create hotels and resorts for a multi-day stay for our guests at our parks. Next to this, I could imagine career maps of Act 5, a returning coaster, and maybe some special track pieces for more coaster types. What I also see in July is some improvements of water rides, like the texture of the water rides is still horrible. It doesn't look really good. People are complaining a lot about this. And I would also love to see more improvement like the Flume-Scott, like enhancements to the movement of river rapids, for example. And when I think of smaller changes, I also thought it would be nice to get adjustable height for tower rides, because we already had this in Planet Coaster 1, and I can really imagine that Frontier is going to implement this very soon. Before we take a closer look at the update 8 and 9, I want to dive a little deeper in what I think how hotels could be implemented. What we already know is that people were not happy with the implementation of hotels in the first game, where it was just a black lobby box which was connected to deluxe and regular or default bedrooms, also as just simple boxes without having any impact on anything. People were just going in there and disappearing. So I think people want more visual approach to this, and I had an idea when I talked with my buddy Vampiro, which you might know from the forums, and we discussed a lot about the possibility of how hotels could work in the game. One of the nicest things in Planet Zoo were that all the staff buildings had completely visible and fully animated indoors or interiors, and this brought us to the conclusion that maybe hotel rooms could be developed just like those staff buildings in Planet Zoo. In my head, we would have like a lobby or reception building piece, like we have the restaurant counter, where people could check in and then walk to their room, where pre-made hotel rooms are available. These hotel rooms would be available in different sizes to build any kind of it, and you could decide if you would rather build a big hotel resort or making something with separate houses, bungalows and everything around the lake or something, to have more like a smaller area for your guests. An additional piece to don't get too messy with stairs could be that we get maybe something like a elevator building or something like this, that people could move between levels or so. I would already be happy if they check in somewhere and being ported to their rooms with an indoor interior visualization and some pre-made animations, actually, because those staff rooms in Planet Zoo had windows and doors, and you could just take a look in it and see what people were doing in there. These are just some examples of the staff buildings, what staff members were doing in Planet Zoo. But if you imagine this being hotel rooms, it would be simply amazing and an absolute game changer for the realism of this game. And Frontier already did it, and so why not making this with guests and hotel rooms? But then there is the big question, what about changing or customization of the hotel rooms? And I thought about that too and came back to the idea of an basically different approach like we had them also in Planet Zoo, with the exhibits and walkthrough exhibits for our animals. Small exhibits and walkthrough exhibits were basically very static boxes that could be adjusted. You could decide on the floor, roof, ceiling, basically the four walls, and editing them. But you also had some different switches for enrichment level items, so you could adjust the indoors or interior of these exhibits with those switchers. I imagine that this could be a system to modify the hotel rooms as well. Next to this, you are always able to place scenery items around those to change the look of it. But for casual gamers, this would at least mean that you are able to adjust the prestige and also the price for a single room. Maybe there could also be a possibility to sync those settings between rooms and manage multiple at a time. But as you can see here with the butterfly example, you can completely change the visual look of this walkthrough exhibit based on some of your decisions. In my opinion, this is something Frontier obviously would be able to do, and is also, in my opinion, a very realistic approach to make it customizable for the heavy detailers, but also not too complicated for the casual players. What actually do you think about my concept about the integration of hotels for Planet Coaster 2? Let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe. We talked a lot about update 7 now, but now let's take a closer look at what else could be coming in this year. As I speculate about the first or next paid DLC in July, I think Frontier is going to take a break and will return in October with the next paid DLC to be back in the 3-month quarterly rhythm. I thought about this update and I went for a Haunted pack, which could be a mix between the Twilight pack from Planet Zoo, but also bringing in some very spooky items, new items and new building sets. And alongside this, I could imagine that we would get in a free update the spooky theme from the first game DLC in parts or maybe fully as an addition to the game. When I thought about a big feature for that free update, I came to parades, because we have guided walking tours in Planet Zoo already, and this is a feature that you might adapt to Planet Coaster. and bring in some unique parade routes with your entertainers and a functionality like with the customizing of track ride or so. So this would be definitely an idea. Maybe we are going to see another returning flat ride, and I thought if this could be the way to bring back themed trains like the Wendigo, which was the small, like a caterpillar looking kiddie coaster as a train option, and the magic cat for the track ride instead of the vintage cars. Maybe this could be brought in to have more options on pre-themed trains. As with every update, I expect ongoing stability and performance enhancements and maybe some other quality of life stuff. It must have been a tough time since the game's launch, and I think Frontier needs to soon get back into their regular schedule because it is simply too much to rush out an update every month. So that's why I am expecting a smaller anniversary update for the first anniversary. And what could be better, in my opinion, again, full speculation here, if some of the Planet Coaster family, like the entertainers of the different themes we already got from the base game, might come together and celebrate the first anniversary for Planet Coaster. I can clearly see in my head how this announcement trailer would work. All the entertainers coming together, celebrating a party and being back in the game. I also expect something like we had with Planet Zoo, balloon and celebration scenery, and maybe this is a chance to add 4 returning or 6 returning shops, because we are still missing some shops from the original game. Wouldn't this be a very nice anniversary update and a great continuation of the adding of new themes? I would be pretty happy. Last but not least, I would like to talk about the update 9 in December. I would expect maybe another rides pack or another DLC. I'm not 100% sure, but I put the rides pack in here because we got so many themes this year that after the Haunting pack, it could be the time for another ride pack. At least Frontier did do this strategy with Planet Zoo. We basically got a themed scenery pack with a few rides and then a rides pack or like an animal pack, mostly focused on animals with less scenery pieces. This could be the perfect balance between scenery items and new coasters or new other additions, maybe also to the water park side of Planet Coaster. And for the free update, I definitely see a big update to the weather system. As winter is approaching in December, I was thinking about improved weather, including snow. When I was at Gamescom, I remember that there was a snow terrain paint. It was white and with a rock texture, and that's how it worked in Planet Zoo. When you put down a snow terrain paint and it was too warm, you would simply see the rock texture, but as soon as the temperature drops and it's starting to snow, there was snow visible. So I kind of expect snow coming in December, with maybe, and that's what Frontier did with Planet Zoo as well, alongside their Arctic pack, we got a new biome which also featured an Aurora Borealis, which are the northern lights. And into addition to this, I could imagine we are getting back the opportunity to create our custom biomes like we were able to do in Planet Coaster 1. Putting together all the terrain paints we would like to have within a park. And I could also maybe imagine that maybe the red rock desert terrain paint could also make a return, but I'm not 100% sure. Maybe we will see a returning coaster from the original game, and I also thought, why not add another pack of themed trains like the Coney Express for the railroad and the Machina Classica as a more speedy addition to the vintage cars. Next to these, I expect festive scenery items for the holiday season, and of course ongoing stability and performance enhancements. This is all in my head. It's a big concept about what could be coming next, but after my last speculation video, where nearly, I would say 90% of what I predicted was just true, just a little earlier, because I was a little afraid that I'm asking for too much, but Frontier did even put more on the table. So I thought this is a strong roadmap, but I can imagine that it could be true. What do you think about my idea of the continuation? I would love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments. Jump into my Discord server and let's discuss together. I cannot wait to see this super bright future for this game, and I'm happy that we are in this state again. The mood overall is getting better. The game is absolutely amazing and I'm super hyped. So this is it for today. I really want to thank you for all your support. I hope I reach 2,000 subscribers. Hopefully soon. There are only 80 more to go. So thank you for watching and I see you in the next one. And yeah, have a nice day.